guys, this is Delphine with another Japanese lesson. Okay, so I've been sort of dreading to teach this because, in my opinion, this Japanese particle is the hardest to learn. And that is the particle ni. And the reason it's so hard is because you can use it in so many different situations, so sometimes it can be easily confused with a different particle. So don't get too overwhelmed, I'll be going over a lot of information. In fact, this will be a two-part lesson, so hopefully it'll be easier to take in if it's spread out over 2 videos. But don't feel bad if you don't get it all right away, just keep revisiting and practicing this particle and you'll be fine. Yes. Let's get started. Now, in one of its most general senses, ni can be roughly translated to the English prepositions at or to. So it's not as much a marker of things the way a lot of particles are, like a subject marker and an object marker, although there is a little bit of an exception to that I'll be getting to in part 2. Generally, it's just very much a preposition and it links things together. So the first and probably the most common use of ni is for location. So when something or someone is going to a place or they already are at a place. So here are some examples. Tokyo ni ikimasu. I will go to Tokyo. Koko ni kite kudasai. Please come here. Inu wa ie ni imashita. The dog was at the house. Alright, so we're starting out pretty simple here. Now I do want to point out that there is another particle, the particle e, that is used in very similar situations, so it can be kind of confusing. And I've already made a lesson about that one, so you can check it out here. But just to repeat myself briefly, the particle e is used for more general direction, with the focus being on the journey, while ni is focused more on the destination, a specific location. And ni is also used more commonly, I'd say, than the particle e. And another thing to watch out for is not to confuse this with a different particle, de. I've gone over that one as well in a previous video, so here's a link if you need it. I clarified some things in that video, but I'll go over it a little bit more now. De is used when you're performing an action in a particular location, or like I was saying in that video, by means of a location. In fact, here's a good test. With de, you could actually omit the location altogether, and the sentence would still make sense. The focus is on the action. So for example, uchi de asa gohan o tabemasu means I'm having breakfast at home. You could remove the fact that you're having it at home and just say asa gohan o tabemasu, and the sentence would still make sense, just I'm eating breakfast. Whereas ni is used when you're saying that you're going somewhere or you are somewhere, so the focus is more on the place. I know it can get confusing with all these different particles, but just keep working on it. The more examples that you see, the more you'll start to understand when you can use which particle. And I'll be making more videos on direction and location in the future, but hopefully this gives you a pretty good base. And then, in addition to physical locations, ni can be used for some more abstract direction words too. These you'll learn more on a case-by-case basis based on the vocab you're learning. But here's some examples. Migi ni magatte kudasai. Please turn right. Koppu wa teiburu no ue ni arimasu. The cup is on top of the table. So just be on the lookout for that sort of thing as well. Okay, so those were the ways that you can use ni for locations or directions. The next big use for ni has to do with time. You can use ni to indicate that something will or has happened at a particular point in time. So here's an example. 7時に行きます. We'll go at 7 o'clock. 月曜日にパーティーをします. On Monday, I will throw a party. 8月に学校が始まります. School starts in August. So pretty straightforward there. In addition to those specific times, you can also use ni when talking about a more general time period when indicating how frequently something happens. And this can roughly translate to the English word per, as in how many times something can happen per day. In the examples, 1ヶ月に寿司を3回食べます. In 1 month, I eat sushi 3 times, or I eat sushi 3 times per month. 1時間に700円をもらいます. In 1 hour, I receive 700 yen. Or I get 700 yen per hour. Okay, I think that's enough for one lesson. So those are some pretty basic but very important uses for ni involving place and time. And when you're ready, go check out part 2. I'll have a link here and in the description as soon as it's posted so that you can master the particle ni. And make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss that video. Alright guys, thank you for watching, happy learning, and I'll see you next time.